Hi, my name is Electra Nduke, and in this video I am going to be talking to small business owners about how to use perception management to build their brands. I'm sure you know by now that you do not need a massive marketing budget to build your brand. What you need is perception clarity. Because people don't just buy your product, they buy what they believe about it. That belief, that's perception. And so in this video, I am going to be breaking down 5 powerful ways you can use perception management to manage how people see your brand. Let's dive in. 1. Now you need to decide what you want to be known for. This is fundamental. Before you show up, you need to know in advance what you want to leave behind. What do you want people to feel when they think about your business? What problems do you solve emotionally and practically? Doing this helps you define your positioning statement. This is the statement that positions your brand in the minds of your target audiences. And you can do this right now. You can get a sheet of paper and a pen, and then you write one sentence. Just one sentence that encapsulates what your brand is all about. Ideally, this statement should contain your core mission, your core target audiences, and the core results you want your target audiences to gain from your brand. All right. So what this would look like would be, our brand exists to brackets core mission for brackets core audience so they can brackets core transformation. Let me take that again. So this statement should ideally encapsulate 1, your core mission, your core audience, and the core transformation that people should expect when they interact with your brand. Right? So you do this, you write down your positioning statements. Now let me give you an example of a typical positioning statement for a brand. A complete example of what this statement could look like would be something like, our brand exists to restore confidence to women dealing with hair loss so they can walk into any room feeling like they belong in it. Right? So the key elements are there. There's a core mission, there's a core audience, and there's a core result that arises from interacting with the brand. So you try that for your brand and tell me what you come up with. Remember, clarity first. The next thing to do is to be consistent at every touch point. Every of your brand touch points, you have to be consistent. If your visuals, language, tone, and customer experience don't match, people will be confused. And you do not want that, because confused people don't trust. They just scroll past. So here's a quick thing to do to ensure that you understand what I'm saying with this second point. So the thing to do now is to audit your brand, right? You need to ask yourself, 1, does my Instagram match the tone of my WhatsApp catalog, right? What I'm saying on my Instagram, and you could do this for any of the other social media pages that you're on. Ask yourself, does my presence on any of these platforms, are they consistent with each other? Am I saying one thing on a platform and saying an entirely different thing on another platform? There has to be consistency. If there's no consistency, you're going to leave people confused, and you do not want that. And you also need to be mindful of the language you're using. So are you formal on one platform and then you're being playful in another platform? That is inconsistent, and you do not want that. And you also need to ask yourself if your visuals feel intentional or if they are inconsistent. Okay, these are the things that you need to consider if you are trying to audit your brand. And it's important you do this so you know areas to fix. And you really don't need fancy branding. All you need is repetition with intention. That's what you need. Now, if you've done that, the third thing to do would be to ensure that you make people feel seen and safe with your brand. People don't just want to buy products, right? They want to feel aligned with your brand. People have to feel a sense of belonging with your brand. There has to be some emotional connection for these people to buy into what you're selling. And if you can make people feel respected, understood, and safe doing business with you, you will never need to shout to be heard because you will have an attentive audience. So how do you do this? 1, use inclusive language. All right, talk to your people, talk to your target audiences like you're in their shoes, like you understand what they are going through, like you understand why they need your products. All right, use inclusive language. And then respond with kindness. You will make mistakes. There will be people who would, there might be friction at certain points in your target audience's interaction with your brand. Respond with kindness, even when you're under pressure, right? Respond with kindness. This is important. Share values that resonate with your ideal audience, right? The easiest way to connect with people is them seeing that you share their values. So share the values that resonate with your ideal audience. And then personalize small moments, birthday messages, thank you notes, thoughtful packaging. These are all the small ways you show your customer that they matter and that you care. Number 4, leverage quiet proof. You don't need to go viral to build credibility. No. What you actually need is quiet proof, right? The kind of proof that says you can trust us. And how do you do this? Collect and post client wins. The results that your clients got from interacting with your brand. Collect and post it with their permission, of course. Share their reviews, share the feedback you get from them, telling you how they felt about using your products. Share all of these things with their permission, of course. Show moments of excellence behind the scenes, not for clouds now, not for that, but for connection, to put a personal touch to your brand. Then highlight consistency. You could say something like, we fulfilled 183 orders in the last 6 months. Here's what we learned, right? That's a good title for a post on this point, right? So highlight consistency. People have to know that you are consistent. They have to feel that they can trust you. Okay, if they decide to patronize your business, let's say you're a skincare brand, people want to know that you'll still be there when they finish the bottle of serum they bought from you. All right, nobody wants to buy skincare from a brand that will disappear before the product they bought finishes. So people need to see that you're consistent, and that's how you build trust. Remember, trust builds slowly. Don't expect trust overnight. This is, and I find this to be a recurrent theme amongst most small business owners. There's this unrealistic expectation that your target audiences should just trust you. And then when that doesn't happen automatically, you tend to get frustrated. No, trust builds slowly. And consistently showing up is how you help your customers and your target audiences to build their trust in your brand. The 5th thing to do is to shape your story before others do. This is important because if you do not say who you are, people will tell you who you're not. This is important because perception is fragile. A single comment or review or rumor can totally shift how people see your brand. And we've seen this happen often enough on social media for us to know the truth of this point. It's important you shape your story yourself before others do it for you. So how do you do this? Set up Google Alerts for your brand name. Make sure that you're on top of things. Whenever your brand name is mentioned, you're aware of it. So you know what's being said about your brand, so that you can quickly get in front of it before it spirals into something else. Monitor your DMs, monitor your Instagram mentions, monitor comments, and respond with grace. When I see some business owners trolling people on Instagram with their business handles, I'm like, that's it's not classy. You need to respond with grace. Let's say a customer has a bad experience with your brand. It's their experience, good or bad, it's their experience. And your job as a small business owner is to honor that experience, right? Respond with grace. Even if they made a mistake, even if the results they got from interacting with your brand is their fault, you still have to respond with grace. And if a wrong narrative is forming, gently correct it, and very quickly too. Being proactive protects your reputation. Silence is not a strategy. And I know we've seen people who do this and we think that's what to do, but it's not. Your silence often makes things worse. In conclusion, here is what I want you to remember. Your brand is not what you say it is. It is what people feel when they experience your brand. So manage perception with intention, right? Be clear, be consistent, be emotionally intelligent. Show your target audiences that you really do care. In your small business, it will not just grow, it will lead. I promise you that. Thank you so much for watching this video. I am excited to have you here. Don't forget to like this video if it resonated with you. Don't forget to follow. Don't forget to subscribe for episode 3 of the Perception Management series. Thank you so much. I'm Electra Nduge, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.